Still go back to the NIPP, which was well auctioned by the Nigeria Customs Service. If you say when we started this NIPP, that is the Integrated Power Project for the country, it was so imperative and so urgent that everyone needed to get this power project started, then it then means that was why they were given the waiver. If truly they were given waiver, then couldn't the Customs Service have even given some kind of grace period for those, for the owners or the importers of this particular equipment to come clear them so that the nation can have light? Because the way people are looking at it now, it looks like, well, the Nigeria Customs Service has jeopardized the power project.
Thank you very much. Elementary Project 101 says that for any effective result in a management, you consider the project triangle: the quality, the cost, the time. We are not in a position to know anything about the quality and the cost. But time. Some of the containers you saw in Ikorodu came in 2006. They were transferred to those places in 2006. And apart from those ones, we have more than 500 other containers in different terminals.
Mr. Adeniyi, no one would like to leave his container there if your men or some other people in the hey, come on!
I give you one other. I give you one other fact.
I'm sorry to butt in. Sorry, I'll let you explain. If we have to go back to what Adewale did say by saying that so many people should leave the ports, it then means that some agencies deliberately frustrate people from clearing their imported goods.
For NIPP, it's a different ball game, and I give you another particular instance. Last week, a terminal operator came to us with an evidence. Okay. Yes, this is Ikorodu. This is Ikorodu. You can see the state of dilapidation and some of the containers that are rotting away completely. This is Ikorodu. I'm talking about a terminal operator last week came to us and showed us evidence to show that they have granted these NIPP containers 75% waivers. There was no issue about customs release. There was no issue about any government agencies. The issue they had at that time with those ones was that the demurrage these containers have accrued have mounted so much because of years of abandonment in the ports. And the terminal operator that operates for business decided to waive 70% of the demurrage fees. Up to now, there are still over 200 containers NIPP project related.
Where?
In CFAX.
Over 200?
Over 200.
Why would they stay that long?
Maybe Suleiman will help me, because they have everything they need to get out the containers. They didn't pay duty. They didn't pay any charges. And yet they gave them all the waivers.
You know, it's quite strange that someone would import some stuff without being asked to pay any of these duties, and he would deliberately leave his container in the ports. Now, since you've started investigating, trying to see if we can get some of these things that were auctioned, or trying to put some kind of explanation before the Nigerian people, couldn't the NCS have also gone into investigations to find out why these people who imported these containers in the first place have refused to come clear them?
I agree. This is the next phase in which we are going to, because it might just go beyond abandoning the container. There could be security issues involved. There could be money laundering issues involved, particularly for those that were not given as, which consignee were not given as NIPP or any government agency. So these are some of the other issues that are involved. And this is why the CG has said that we are no longer going to tolerate them. Okay. We have to make reports to appropriate government agencies.
So I was wondering, when Customs discovered that, look, this is staying too long, who did they notify? Didn't they notify anybody about that? Say, listen, we can't handle this anymore.
I started with that. As far back as January, Customs notified the Federal Ministry of Finance so that this issue can be taken to the Federal Executive Council. The Minister of Mines and Power was notified. PHCN was notified. All the stakeholders were notified. There were meetings and meetings after that, okay, what do we do? And part of what we came up with at that time was that the demurrages that this thing have accrued should be waived. And I tell you the result in some of these places, like CFAX, like in Onne, there are 60 containers in Onne as we are talking.
For the same NIPP?
Of the same NIPP.
So
it's the taxpayers' money.
Why did we pick this 15 containers to auction? Because now we've taken so much pains to notify those people, and when they were not forthcoming, we finally auctioned off the containers, and now we're going back to the market to see if we can retrieve them. Why did we have to auction if we knew they were still going to go into this much trouble?
No, we have a choice, like I said. In every country, the port is not a warehouse. It is supposed to be a transit place between the port of importation and final delivery. Since the beginning of this year, customs, before 2011, customs was averaging $30 billion naira per month, monthly collection. From April, May, we reached 70 billion. We are trying to reach 100 billion monthly collection by December. This is some of the reasons why we might not be able to reach that target. If containers are brought into the country and they are allowed to sit down there for as long as they want.
So were you trying to teach? Were you trying to teach NIPP a lesson, or what exactly were you trying to show? Were you trying to make them a scapegoat?
No, those particular
scapegoat of them?
Well, like I told you, we are investigating the issue of those containers. We are retrieving some of them. Those particular containers, I can show you some documents. There are those that will say NEPA transformers. There are those that will say NIPP equipment. There are those that they consign to Minister of Powers and Steel. There is no sane customs officer anywhere that will auction such containers. But when you have a container where you only put the name of the contractor as the consignee, and you describe the important thing as structures.
So even when you auction, you still do not open the containers to see what is in there. You do just auction them wholesale?
You can auction and see machineries. You can auction and see machineries.
I don't get your point.
And these are machineries that can be used in other sectors other than NEPA. You can see insulators.
So that's the procedure.
You can see switches, for example. Switches are all things that are used not only for NIPP, it could be used for in any other sector.
All right, talk us through section 31, subsection 2, I think paragraph 1. It was talking about goods unclad and missing goods, where 2 says on receipt of the list specified, it goes on. But the one that just kind of looks interesting here says, I'm paraphrasing, well, not paraphrasing really, just skipping some of the preceding words, shall immediately transfer all such goods to the government warehouse or to such other place as the proper officer may approve.
Actually, that is the process, that is the procedure. It goes on like that until subsection 9. If you look at subsection 9, it goes further to say that the board has the power to dispose them, to sell them off. If you go to subsection 9.
Okay.
What I find you're still on that particular section, are you? What I find a bit difficult to understand is why would we go into, why were these 15 containers? You've mentioned 60 in on air, you've mentioned some, these ones in Ikorodu have been there since 2006. Why were these 15 picked on?
Well, the contractors particularly came, we've been having meetings, series of meetings with them. So, I mean, I don't know why 15, when we are talking about 200, 300, 400, 500.
Exactly, why were those 15? And then, you know, there's a bit of misunderstanding here. If you say that you do not exactly, you've tried to get in touch with the government agency involved, and at the same time you say, well, they were not properly labeled. We did not exactly know the company and we did not exactly know what was inside, because at the end of the day, what was inside could actually be used in other sectors of the economy as well. One begins to wonder, did you actually get in touch with the government or government agencies involved, or you did not know who was involved at all? Of
course, PHCN would testify to the fact that we've been working with them all along on this. We've gotten in touch with them. We have written so many letters, and it's surprising to know that in one of their responses, they actually told us that they don't know how the contractors, that we should help them identify the contractors that are clearing these things for them. For customs, it goes beyond these 15 containers. If we don't have space in the ports, containers that will pay duty will not have the space to sit down. We don't have any. We don't get any duty on this. All charges are waived. So if serious importers are coming and they are going to pay duties, and we don't have space for those things to land, then it's a very problem. It's a very big problem for us.
Will be on serious.
Okay. No. Well, the project is a very serious project. Yes. But the contractors that are doing this, I mean, I can't say that they are serious.